Welcome to Mystic Realms Recap. Links are in the description below. Please show some love of the author and me. On to the show.
Just as the Star Spirit clan decided to settle in the galaxy, Meng Ze finished the promotion battle mission and began to return. Apply for task settlement. Respected Commander, congratulations on successfully destroying the invading enemy and completing the promotion battle mission. You have become an official level 4 player. Hereby reward 100,000 points. Please continue to work hard and continue to contribute to the StarCraft simulation world. The prompt for task settlement changed slightly. Meng Ze didn't care, but this reward was really cut, and he actually sent himself away with only 100,000 points. Being an official level 4 player means that Meng Ze can start taking on missions. Now Meng Ze is alone and has no younger brother, so he can only take on solo missions. In fact, those who can advance to the 4th level of players are regarded as one of 100,000 talents in the interstellar world, and few people are willing to saddle up and be the younger brother of others, unless it is an absolute gap in strength and status, which has to convince the other party. Meng Ze clicked on the points system, selected the single-player mode, and after entering, the points system instantly gave Meng Ze a test. Dear Commander, you are a level 4 player in the StarCraft simulation world. The single-player mission provides a total of difficulty levels 1 to 10, of which level 4 players can choose levels 1 to 10. Level 5 players can choose levels 5 to 10, and level 6 players can choose levels 8 to 10. It is recommended that you start from level 1 and gradually increase the difficulty of the mission according to your own situation. This mode is completely different from Meng Ze's level 3 tasks. But through the prompt, Meng Ze guessed that the so-called 4-level optional 1 to 10 difficulty is a gimmick. Just look at the suggestions of the mission system. What level 4 players can really choose is estimated to be level 1 to 4. Meng Ze's fleet was still on its way back. He tried to choose a level 3 mission, and when he chose to go out, Meng Ze chose the fleet that was returning. The results system prompted, "Respected Commander, the unit you selected is too far away to perform dimensional teleportation. It doesn't look like it's going to work." Meng Ze wanted to see if he could quickly transfer troops in this way, but the system left no loopholes. A little over an hour later, Meng Ze's fleet returned. After such a long time of promotion battle, another batch of warships were produced in the base. Meng Ze put together 4,000 Starfire-class frigates, 250 Starfire-class destroyers, 100 Starfire-class battleships, 50 Starfire-class cruisers, 20 planetary-class motherships, and 20 Prism-class battlefield monitoring ships. As for the combat arms on the planet, Meng Ze has brought more: motorized infantry, Thor mecha, sky mecha, heavy fortress, wind assault ship, space assault ship, transport assault ship. Combined, the number exceeds 10 million, of which the largest number of motorized infantry brings a whole 4 million people. The combat arms of these planets are all housed in 20 planet-class motherships and follow the fleet. Starting again, Meng Ze chose to start with a level 3 mission. Respected Commander, your mission goal is to attack the planet Da 99782 occupied by the Zerg and clear the Zerg on the planet, considering the Commander's tight time and heavy tasks. You only need to completely destroy the planet force field amplifier of the planet Da 99782 and disarm more than 80% of the Zerg combat power, and the remaining targets will be cleaned up by the mission initiator. The task is very humane. Now the planet area is not more than the floating island. I don't know how many times larger. If you want to completely eliminate the Zerg on the planet, it is very time-consuming. If you only need to clear 80% of the Zerg combat power, the task is much easier. The prompt ends and the task officially begins. Respected Commander, your troops will be teleported to interstellar space 20 million kilometers away from the planet Da 99782. Please make sure that all your troops have interstellar space survivability. Are you sure to start teleporting? Okay. Start entering the teleportation countdown. 35. The teleportation of the 4-level single-player mission is much faster than the 3rd-level teleportation because there is no need for synchronization. And even Meng Ze's fleet is many times larger than when the third-level teleportation is still teleported away instantaneously after the 10-second countdown ends. On the console of the command center, the holographic projection flashed, and it became a three-dimensional projection of the mission space. Except for Meng Ze's fleet and the Zerg planet and troops, the entire starry sky was empty, and there was nothing else. The Zerg seem to have known that Meng Ze is back, and Meng Ze's radar has detected the void around the Zerg planet, and there are many Zerg troops present, and they have lined up in the direction where Meng Ze came in. Compared to the detection of battleships, the detection capabilities of the Prism-class battlefield monitoring ship are much more powerful, and Meng Ze enlarges the picture of the Zerg troops and can even clearly distinguish the species of each Zerg. Of course, all this does not need Meng Ze to count personally. Everything that can be detected, Meng Ze only needs to instruct the Wisdom Brain. The Wisdom Brain will naturally provide the statistics to Meng Ze for reference. There are 10,000 Void Corruptors, 1,000 multi-eyed eye worms, 5,000 Void Destroyers, and 20 Insect Tide Lords, which is the Zerg Interstellar class that Level 3 missions need to face. If you just talk about the number, it is more than 10 times more than when Meng Ze advanced to the battle, but the Level 3 mission faces the legendary Zerg. Not that Meng Ze underestimates the other party. But the attack power of these Zerg is really not very good. As long as it can prevent being caught by the other party, Meng Ze is even sure to destroy these Zergs without injury. The Prism-class battlefield monitoring ship has space-blocking capabilities. Only literally, in fact, it is difficult to figure out what space blocking is, Meng Ze after actual testing, only to find that in fact, the space blocking capabilities of the Prism-class battlefield monitoring ship are two branches. The first is space interference, which is a weakened version of the space interferometer. The truly complete version of the space interferometer is a 5-level technology, and the 4th-level technology cannot be created at all, but the weakened version can. The space interferometer on Meng Ze's native planet has an interference distance of more than 500 million kilometers after the energy upgrade, and may continue to increase if the energy is upgraded again in the future. However, the space-blocking branch capability space interference on the Prism-class battlefield monitoring ship is only 5 million kilometers. That is to say, beyond this distance, the other party can perform space jumps or curvature navigation without restrictions. The second branch of spatial blocking of the Prism-class battlefield monitoring ship is battlefield occlusion, which is a small-scale twisting force field whose role is not to weaken the attack, but to disperse the attack. Meng Ze, who has experience in interstellar warfare, knows what this ability is for, and preventing the battleship from being set on fire is one of its important roles. Given the powerful auxiliary role of the Prism-class battlefield monitoring ships, Meng Ze has adjusted its own production schedule. But that's for later. At this time, Meng Ze saw that the Zerg were on guard, and did not do what he thought, directly ordered the fleet to speed up and sail in the direction of the Zerg planet, but could leave 10 frigates just in case. The 4th-level technology warship accelerates extremely fast, and it didn't take long for the speed of the battleship to increase to 5,000 kilometers per second, which is equivalent to a speed maniac of 18 million kilometers per hour. The Zerg starborn forces didn't make any moves, just stood by the planet, waiting for Meng Ze's fleet to come. 3 million kilometers. Meng Ze neither slowed nor fired the fleet, because he found that the interstellar force of the Zerg is only more than 100,000 kilometers away from the planet, which can be said to be quite close. This distance indicates that the Zerg may retreat the interstellar forces to the planetary defense circle at any time, and if the interstellar forces and the forces in the planetary circle are mixed, plus the original defense of the planet, this battle will be quite difficult to fight. Meng Ze decided to hide his firepower, try to get as close as possible, and give the other side a hard blow at once. Meng Ze's killer feature is the Starfire-class cruiser, although the super-gravity wave cannon has a short attack distance and a fast attenuation in the actual test. The attack power at 300,000 kilometers can barely maintain 100% of the attack power of 20 million, but only half of the 10 million at 600,000 kilometers. and only 5 million at 900,000 kilometers of decay to 1.2 million kilometers. There is only less than 5 million attack power left. The diffusion angle of the hypergravity wave cannon is only less than 0.5 degrees, but don't underestimate this degree. The distance effect is very terrifying. Because of this degree angle, the hypergravity wave cannon reaches a place of 300,000 kilometers and can cover a range of more than 2,500 kilometers in diameter and to 600,000 kilometers. The coverage can reach 5,000 kilometers. The interstellar Zerg is a huge individual, swinging very wide in the interstellar space formation. Looking at it from Meng Ze's perspective, at least more than 10,000 kilometers horizontally, and thousands of kilometers longitudinally and deeply. Meng Ze is not worried. He has 20 Starfire-class cruisers. As long as he masters the attack distance, he can easily cover all the Zerg. But Meng Ze is not pursuing the most Zerg that can attack, but to give the Zerg the maximum damage. So it is also necessary to consider the weakening of the force field of the eye worm and the mutual interference between the gravity field of the hypergravity wave cannon. 2 million kilometers. Meng Ze is still advancing at 5,000 kilometers per second, 300,000 kilometers per minute. The Zerg Void Destroyer began to attack, and dense antimatter cannons were fired, each with a power of about 4,500. Meng Ze's Starfire-class battleship was in front of it, and hundreds of antimatter cannons slammed into the shield, causing the shield to ripple. The shields of more than 30 battleships with more concentrated attacks in front were instantly cut in half, and the shields of some destroyers were also reduced to a certain extent. Rotation. Between attacks, battleships and destroyers began to rotate, moving forward to the top of the second-line battleships, allowing the shield-reduced battleships to retreat to the rear to recover. The Prism-class battlefield monitoring ship also monitors the front of the battlefield at all times to prevent the Zerg from suddenly gathering fire in large numbers. 20% firepower, free return fire. It's not okay if you don't fight back. The enemies of the interstellar world are not fools. If Meng Ze rushes over in a daze, everyone thinks there will be ghosts. However, Meng Ze reduced the attack strength to 20%, reducing the Zerg's sense of threat. Sure enough, this level of firepower made the Zerg feel that the threat was not great, and the interstellar Zerg even maintained the formation and began to advance. Good, Meng Ze said secretly in his heart. After 3 minutes, the Zerg Void Eater attacks the second round. The Prism-class battlefield monitoring ship, which closely monitors the Zerg, AFDF, detects signs of the opponent's concentrated fire, and then instantly releases a twisted force field based on the attack trajectory. Let the Zerg attack be fruitless, not even as good as the first round. 1 million kilometers. In addition to cruisers, other battleships, full power, fire. In an instant, countless meteors emanated from Meng Ze's fleet, crashing into the Zerg camp at sublight speeds. Instantly guaranteed 5 times the power, so that the Zerg was caught off guard. More than 900 multi-eyed insects were instantly killed by the frigate's 4 ships. 700,000 kilometers. The fleet slows down, 500 kilometers per second. The speed of the fleet dropped rapidly, and when it dropped to the target speed, the battleship had already slid into a range of 600,000 kilometers. And 20 Starfire-class cruisers also took the opportunity to adjust the lineup and came to the front. The highly condensed, powerful energy converged, and in an instant, the cruiser's body shook, and an incomparably powerful spherical force field was instantly launched. Where the force field passed, the void was distorted, rippling through layers of spatial ripples. As the distance gets farther and farther, the spherical force field gradually expands. Soon, the Zerg, who were stunned by the sudden surge in firepower before, were hit by a second wave before they could readjust their formation. Without the force field protection of the eye worm, these legendary Zergs with a maximum health value of 8 million have no resistance at all to the attack of the hypergravity wave cannon. The Zerg who fell into the gravity field twisted its huge body painfully, but in the next moment, its body shape twisted and cracked, and it was torn into pieces by the chaotic force field. After this round of attacks, looking at the situation on the battlefield, Meng Ze seemed silent. I saw that in the void where the interstellar Zerg was originally located, huge pieces of broken limbs and flesh were scattered and floating, countless blood balls were rippling, changing shapes, really flesh and blood, broken corpses like forests, and the battlefield became a veritable mountain of corpses and a sea of blood. It's more than 10 times bigger than any previous battle in Meng Ze. Sure enough, it will be a success. Meng Ze sighed in his heart, but nothing could be unbearable. Meng Ze understands that to be a good commander, this is a process that must be undergone. And this dry bone is either the enemy's or its own. Even though Meng Ze's troops came easily, leaving him without the love and compassion of the Blue Star generals for their soldiers, he was not inhuman, and he had seen those live mobile suits with his own eyes. Meng Ze will not hesitate to take out enemies at the least cost, even if the result is cruel and bloody. The battleship continued to move forward and easily eliminated the few remaining interstellar Zergs that were surviving. It didn't take long for them to come to the periphery of the planet. Without the protection of the interstellar Zerg, everything on the surface of the planet is like a lamb to be slaughtered with its fur, and everything is fine. Meng Ze's fleet began circling the planet, choosing a landing site. Perhaps the Zerg did not expect Meng Ze to solve his space force so quickly. At this time, the distribution of ground troops was extremely uneven, allowing Meng Ze to easily find an opportunity. Hundreds of thousands of space assault ships and Aeolian assault ships poured out of the planetary mothership and burst into the planetary circle. On the surface, tens of thousands of anti-aircraft spore batteries began to fire, and green spore shells shot into the sky. But relative to the number of assault fleets, a drop in the bucket. Ground anti-aircraft fire was quickly cleared out of a gap, and then Meng Ze's transport assault ship began to make a sudden landing. The big picture is set. At this point, Meng Ze can finally relax completely. As expected, Meng Ze's Marines, with the cooperation of the assault fleet, quickly demolished the Zerg's first building that enlarged the planetary force field, reducing the weakening effect of the planetary force field shield to 90%. Meng Ze gathered all the main artillery of the fleet and began to gather fire against the Zerg second force field amplified building with almost no means of counterattack. A total of nearly 40 billion firepower. After the reduction of the planetary force field, there are nearly 4 billion, and then again by the protective force field of the force field amplifier itself is reduced by 90%. And finally, the firepower of 400 million falls on the spire building of the Zerg amplifying force field, knocking the building in half. However, after the planetary force field shook for a while, it still maintained a reduction rate of 90%. I'm special. Meng Ze feels incredible. No wonder the dog-headed bun has to pull out the planetary force field generator. The weakening of the gunfire of the battleship by this thing was actually twice, not once I imagined. Fortunately, Meng Ze cleared all the interstellar forces of the Zerg, otherwise it would be difficult to find an opportunity to destroy the spire building of the Zerg responsible for amplifying the force field in addition to filling it with his life. But at this time, Meng Ze only waited for 5 minutes, and the entire fleet came to gather fire again, and the second planetary force field amplifier was completely destroyed. After unplugging the two, the third is easier, and it can be done in just one fire. Meng Ze originally thought that by pulling out the third minaret, the Zerg planetary force field shield would be reduced to 70%, and then the fourth and fifth would need to be removed. But with the destruction of the third planetary force field amplifier, the Zerg's planetary force field shield was completely invalidated in an instant. Finally got it. Meng Ze stretched his muscles. This fight was really tiring. Originally, I thought that after the removal of the star force field shield, even if it was completed, who knew that the ground clearing behind would be regarded as a watermill? Even if Meng Ze is one with heaven and earth and carries the dimensionality reduction strike of the starship, it still consumes more than 20 hours to clear the ground Zerg troops and destroy their buildings. It wasn't until the Zerg buildings and forces were barely visible on the surface that the system indicated that the mission was complete. I'll make a groove. Are the other Zerg all hiding? For this result, Meng Ze rejoiced in his heart. Fortunately, the mission goal is only 80%. Not so perverted. If there are more, wouldn't it be necessary to play peekaboo with the Zerg? Then when will it be cleared? Dear Commander, congratulations on completing the level 3 star battle mission objective. You have earned 1 million points and 1 billion crystal mines. For this result, Meng Ze is quite dissatisfied, although this time he lost little, but it took nearly 30 hours to such a little gain. Oh, there's no third level yet. The time to brush the points comes quickly. 35. Thinking of the points brushed at level 3, Meng Ze was stunned for a moment and then depressed to death. I didn't pay attention when buying battleships, but it seems that little has changed. But when I used the points to upgrade the planet, I found that the points brushed at the third level of the special one, used to upgrade the fourth level planet, were actually used by shrinking 100 to 1. Originally, 10,000 points increased the diameter of the planet by 1 kilometer, but with the points brushed at the third level, it actually took 1 million points to exchange for 1 kilometer. At the beginning, Meng Ze actually wanted to brush up too many points, but because of the world mission, he chose to advance. Now that I think about it, it's good that I didn't do that, otherwise I wouldn't have pitted myself to death. With a breath, Meng Ze threw the negative emotions out of his mind. In any case, the first single-player mission battle was finally over. Meng Ze pulled out the communication of the dog's head bun. He felt that he was playing too hard, and he had to find the bun boss to get some scriptures. Bun boss, I'm in a bad mood. I have time to come out and chat. Meng Ze sent a message first. A minute later, the dog-headed bun sent a message. Brother, what's up? The dog-headed bun asked with concern. The task was too difficult and depressing. Meng Ze said. Ha ha. Brother, don't think that level 4 is still the same as level 3, and it is normal that interstellar wars are difficult to fight. The dog-headed bun comforted with a smile, but his heart was dark. It's not a dark heart. It's like seeing your friend pour an innocuous mold, secretly happy. After all, after knowing each other for so long, the dog-headed bun has hardly seen Meng Ze deflated. So I came to the big guy to learn from it. Meng Ze said seriously. Haha, this is good to say, Brother Bun. I will definitely teach me the experience of doing tasks. The dog-headed bun laughed. Let's talk about your situation first. Let me be happy first. Find out your level. 35. I accidentally almost leaked my mouth. Meng Ze was suspicious, always feeling that something was wrong. However, at the urging of the dog-headed bun, Meng Ze began to talk about his mission experience. However, after saying the first sentence, he was interrupted by the dog-headed bun. You said you directly chose the single-player mission with level 3 difficulty? The dog-headed bun asked in surprise. Yes. Brother, what should I say about you? The dog-headed bun patted the operation table and said seriously, when you choose a task, the system should prompt you. First improve from the low difficulty level up. Why don't you listen to the persuasion? Directly choose a third level. Do you think the third level of difficulty is so easy to fight? It's so hard. Meng Ze nodded. Yes, so you can't be too ambitious. Is the mission accomplished? Dog-headed bun asked. It's done. It's normal not to do it. What the? Done. The appearance of Meng Ze before, the dog-headed bun thought that his mission had failed, but he did not expect to do it. It's done. It's done. The dog-headed bun paused and asked, is the loss huge? Meng Ze was just about to speak, and the dog-headed bun continued. It's okay. It's normal to lose a big loss. The fourth level point task is already difficult to do. Brother, you have a lot of mines anyway, and you will recover quickly. It's not. Meng Ze wanted to talk. The dog-headed bun said again, I think when Brother Bun did the third level difficulty task for the first time, I almost wiped out the entire army and lost nearly 10,000 warships. Brother, you are not as miserable as your brother, right? No. Meng Ze didn't know what to say. If you let the bun boss know that his battleship is not damaged, I don't know if he will jump over and kill himself. You see, you're not as miserable as me, so it's not a big deal. Hmm. Meng Ze nodded desperately. So how much did you lose this time? Hundreds. Thousands of warships. Meng Ze made up a number. I originally wanted to say hundreds of ships, but thinking of the losses that the bun boss said, I quickly changed it to thousands. 0. Asking for flowers. Thousands? So little. The dog-headed bun was stunned for a moment. Immediately thought of something and asked, Your battleship is mysterious, right? Yes. Meng Ze nodded. Then it's no wonder, you just advanced. This loss is indeed not small, but your speed of building battleships is not slow, powerful. The dog-headed bun thinks he has figured it out. Video your mission to me, and I'll help you see if there's anything you need to improve. Dog-Ed Bun Road. Meng Ze was confused. Hurry up. Seeing that Meng Ze did not move, the dog-headed bun urged. Shouldn't it be that your kid lost, fooled brother bun just now? The dog-headed bun doubted. No, big bun. This video brother is not saved. It has been deleted by G-Brain. Meng Ze hurriedly said. Point 0. Impossible, brother bun. I don't believe you. Take it. Let me see what is embarrassing, and I want to beg you. The more Meng Ze didn't want to give it, the more curious the dog's head bun became. Meng Ze was forced to do nothing, so he had to make an ambush in advance. Bun boss, you have to give me the mission video. You can't trouble me later. Don't worry, I won't trouble you. The dog-headed bun said very casually. Then I'll give it to you and I'll leave first, and I'll wait for you to be absent. 95. If you have something, you will go to work first. Also, bun boss, you send me some video of your mission first. I will study and study. Okay, send it to you right away. 100, that's enough. Thank you, guy. Seeing that his goal had finally been achieved, Meng Ze sent the video he had just made. G-Brain, wait for anyone to send a message. They will automatically reply to a sentence saying that I am not there. Meng Ze ordered. Obey orders, Commander. After waiting for about 30 minutes, the communication from the dog-headed bun arrived. G-Brain followed Meng Ze's instructions and automatically replied, I'm not there. Seeing the reply message, the dog's head bun was stunned, and the already depressed mood went up to another level. Seeing that no one answered the communication, the dog-headed bun sent several messages to Meng Ze one after another. Meng Ze, don't think you can dodge it. Brother bun is dripping blood in my heart now, and I have been stabbed by you more than 10 times. Stinky boy, get out of here for me. You actually deceived your brother Bao's feelings. You're depressed and a ghost, you took the planet without injury, and you actually pretended to be a stinky boy. You won, you pretended to be a big face for me. 5. 66 with. Seeing the dog-headed buns, Meng Ze knew that the bun boss was embarrassed in front of him this time, and he must be very unhappy. After thinking about it, I dialed a communication at -90 degrees. 90 degrees below zero. Is your star spirit race energy field shield technology chip still there? No need to be polite with your friends, Meng Ze asked directly. Yes, you want? Seeing Meng Ze suddenly asked, -90 degrees also guessed in his heart. Well, I'll give it away. Meng Ze is blunt. Good. 90 degrees below zero, he agreed to come down, found out the chip and marked a price and sent it to Meng Ze. Meng Ze looked at the 10 million on the list price and knew that -90 degrees meant that it was actually a gift to him. 10 million should be the lowest price stipulated by the platform, which is drizzle for both of them. When it came to 6 or 90, thanks, Meng Ze didn't say anything more, just remembering some things. When Akka finished analyzing the chip, Meng Ze dialed the communication of the dog-headed bun. Seconds to follow. Meng Ze, you actually have the face to send a message to Brother Bun. You kid, obviously know that I made a joke, and you keep seeing the bottom. Bad intentions, my heart hurts. Say, how are you going to compensate me? As soon as the communication was connected, the dog's head bun fluttered to cover his face. Brother Bun, I brought heart medicine, wrap you medicine to cure the disease. Meng Ze is now confident. Really? The dog-headed bun looked incredulous. If it doesn't work well, then I'll make another note for you. 35. Don't worry, the little brother will never fool you. After that, the strange chip was marked with the lowest price and sent over. What is this? The dog-headed bun picks up the teleported thing. This cylindrical shape, with chip-like patterns at the lower end, had never been seen before. The dog-headed bun did not ask and directly put it into the detection port of the console. Super Energy Shield Technology, Mutant Type, Defense Level, Strong Level 5, Normal Use Level 4, can be downgraded. Small units use defense decreased. This thing? The dog-headed bun looked incredulous. Hee, how about the defensive shield technology used by my fleet and the troops on the planet, Brother Bun? Is the medicinal effect good enough? Meng Ze clasped his hand and said proudly. Turd good. The dog-headed bun roared. Oh my god, you actually have such a good thing, brother. You have written down this wish. 35. Haha, it's good if Brother Bun is not angry. The dog-headed bun smiled and shook his head, knowing that Meng Ze was joking. The so-called anger before was actually just a big face in front of Meng Ze, and talking about compensation or something was just a joke, but I didn't expect Meng Ze to give him a big gift. And this gift was so much that he couldn't refuse it. As a commander, especially a commander standing at the top of the 4th level, the biggest wish of the dog-head bun is to upgrade to the 5th level. But his foundation is not enough. Not only resources, but also the strength of the arms. But now, with the shield technology donated by Meng Ze, the military strength of the dog-headed bun can be increased by at least 50%. After that, whether it is doing tasks or playing resources, the difficulty will be greatly reduced. Even if it is a level 5, you have a certain degree of certainty. So the excitement of the dog's head bun can be imagined. Brother, I won't talk to you more. Brother Bao, I can't wait to try. Seeing the eager mood of the dog-headed bun, Meng Ze nodded and smiled. Come on, big guy. Wait for you to cover me. K off, the big guy can't cover you anymore. The dog-headed bun scolded with a smile. Seeing the dog-headed bun figure disappear, Meng Ze sat down. Doghead Bun is one of his best friends, very righteous, and is also Meng Ze's guide in the interstellar world. Meng Ze naturally hopes that he can be better. Let G-Brain open the mission video given by the Doghead Bun, and Meng Ze also wants to know what level the top player of the 4th level is. Just opened the first video, and the length of the video surprised Meng Ze, which was a full 105 hours. Meng Ze obviously didn't have the patience to watch the video slowly, except for the key parts. It was played quickly, and he jumped on a segment from time to time. Even so, Meng Ze took more than 5 hours to watch it. Now Meng Ze knows why the dog's head bun is so unbeautiful. Not only was the Meng Ze mission misjudged, but it is estimated that at least half of it was due to the video sent to Meng Ze. The dog-headed bun is also playing against the level 3 mission Zerg. However, the fleet he sent was much larger than Meng Ze, not to mention the type, and the number was more than 300,000 alone. But it is precisely because of this that the Zerg cowered in the inner layer of the planet's shield from the beginning, fighting a guerrilla war with him. The large army pressed forward, and the Zerg troops could not shrink out. A small number of them stepped forward and shot each other. The strategy adopted by the dog-headed bun is to use large forces to oppress and keep the interstellar arms of the Zerg in one position. The landing force, on the other hand, bypassed the main battlefield and forcibly landed in other areas. Because the arms did not have absolute superiority and, even weak, they fell into a bitter battle at the beginning. Only when the combat troops in the planet paid a great price and forcibly took down at least 2 Zerg planetary force field amplification buildings would be the final fire merger. Meng Ze calculated that the Battle of Dog-Headed Buns, not counting points, not only did not earn, but also lost more than 1 billion yuan. If just one video doesn't mean anything, Meng Ze can be sure after watching a dozen videos in a row. Dog-headed buns do single-person tasks, Basically, every game loses as little as 3.5 billion, as much as 12 billion, and the time is generally about 100 hours. The longest battle actually fought more than 160 hours. And he doesn't fight every day, basically only once in 5 or 6 days. That is, 3.5 says that he did the task purely to get points and did not earn money at all. Thinking that he was complaining to the bun boss with an almost undamaged record and less than 30 hours of mission video, Meng Ze felt that he had inserted this knife a little hard. I didn't mean to. Meng Ze apologized again in his heart for the injured dog's head bun and then felt much more comfortable. Even the bun boss is so miserable, he is already the kind that can't do it. There is no reason to be depressed. Sure enough, people need to have contrast in order to be happy. Meng Ze, your shield is too perverted. It's really strong. Very strong, ha ha ha. Cool. Seeing the message sent by the bun boss, Meng Ze was also very happy. Well, now it's two pleasures. Tomorrow is another weekend, but Luo Wei is not available and the school has arranged final exams. After 2 days of exams, it will be the official summer vacation. However, it is said that because it is the 3rd year of high school next semester, the school has arranged makeup classes. Brother Xiaobai, when the exam is over, there is a week of vacation. Let's go out to play. In the bedroom, Luo Wei was hiding under the covers and talking to Meng Ze on the phone. This is Luo Wei's experience, hiding in the quilt and locking the door. Luo's mother can't hear any sound even if she eavesdrops outside the door. Where do you want to go? Meng Ze asked. Secretly calculated in my heart, in the next time, I don't need to do much in the interstellar world. One is that it is necessary to arrange the production of warships, and in this regard, as long as you determine the production plan, the brain will automatically help you arrange it. In addition, it is to do tasks to get points, which may have a little impact, but I am still far from being promoted to the 5th level, and I can make up for it after I work harder. So when his girlfriend says he wants to hang out, Meng Ze can still find time. Recently, I have been fighting in the interstellar world continuously, and sometimes I can't sleep on time, and I still need AKA's reminder. For this reason, Meng Ze specially discussed with AKA and wanted to reduce sleep 0.5 time. But Aka was quite persistent in terms of time and gave the reason Meng Ze couldn't refuse, for the safety of the two. But perhaps considering Meng Ze's actual situation, AKA also thoughtfully gave a compromise. As long as he stays in Blue Star, Meng Ze can choose not to sleep this way, but other ways, the time needs to be extended. It is necessary to spend 10 hours in Blue Star every day, and occasionally special circumstances can be slightly slowed down to make up for it. Although there are conditional changes, Meng Ze is also more free in this case. As for sleeping, for Meng Ze now, it's not that important. Since he was able to obtain food and drink in the interstellar world, the recovery of energy was no longer a problem for him. Luo Wei's voice continued to be heard on the phone. I want to go farther away. Is it okay to go to Suong? I heard that the scenery there is beautiful and I have long wanted to go. Luo Wei said. I don't have any problems, but how do you tell the family? I said that if I go with Lingling and her classmates, and then keep in touch with my family every day, there should be no problem. It seems that Luo Wei has thought about it a long time ago, and Meng Ze naturally agreed. The next morning, Meng Ze entered the interstellar world to continue the integration mission. He decided to fight continuously today and tomorrow, in addition to sleeping, to squeeze out the time to hang out with Vivi. The Zerg that appears in the mission system is different every time, but the gap is not very large. And there is no possibility of ventilation between Zergs between missions. So, with the same tactics, Meng Ze succeeded 3 times in a row. And because there are more and more battleships, less time is consumed. But the 4th time there was a problem, perhaps because Meng Ze had too many warships, and the Zerg of this mission actually hid in the protective circle of the interstellar force field early. Bye. Actually, directly as a turtle, is this still a Zerg? Meng Ze regretted it a little, and several successive victories made him a little carried away, not realizing that the difference in the number of battleships would lead to different judgments of the Zerg. At this time, Meng Ze's fleet consisted of 6,000 Starfire-class frigates, 400 Starfire destroyers, 180 Starfire-class battleships, 60 Starfire-class cruisers, 20 Planet-class motherships, and 100 Prism-class battlefield monitoring ships. Meng Ze cut the number of planetary-class motherships and Starfire-class cruisers and accelerated the construction of Starfire-class battleships, destroyers, and Prism-class battlefield monitoring ships. Judging from the situation of use, although the Starfire-class cruiser is the killer feature of Meng Ze, in fact, the number of such warships is not much demand, because there are too many of them, and concentrated use will cause certain mutual interference. On the contrary, it is the battleships of heavy firepower such as destroyers and battleships, which are used in a wider range. As for the Prism-class battlefield monitoring ship, Meng Ze is also used more and more conveniently. Battleships are attacked by concentrated fire, which is basically a situation that every battle faces, and without the Prism-class battlefield monitoring ship, even Meng Ze's battleships cannot withstand the concentrated fire of the Zerg forces. And his battleships, one is 500 million, as long as two are lost, Meng Ze will inevitably lose money. In order to ensure that there were enough Prism-class battlefield monitoring ships to protect its capital warships from concentrated fire, Meng Ze quickly increased its number to 100. In the face of the Zerg's turtle shrinking, Meng Ze calculated that regardless of the cruiser with short legs and not suitable for gathering fire with other battleships, his own firepower in one salvo can reach about 60 billion, together with the main and secondary guns. Even if the Zerg shield is weakened to 90%, but after the second reduction of the minaret building force field, Meng Ze cannot destroy the Zerg minaret building at once. That said, space jump jamming tactics are a little unworkable. Do you have to follow the same path as the Bun Boss? Then the loss will be great. Meng Ze felt a pain in his head, and he didn't pay attention to it, which caused this situation. Although Meng Ze feels reckless, he will definitely be able to take down this Zerg planet. But as a commander, even if you want to be reckless, you must serve the strategy, and now it's just a point mission, it's not worth it at all. Look at the 10 frigates that he reserved behind the battlefield. Meng Ze's finger tapped down on the console, lost in thought. The Meng Ze battleship group sails around the planet in an orbit of more than 1 million kilometers from the planet, and 690 is looking for unwarranted opportunities. And the inner circle of the planetary force field shield, the interstellar force of the Zerg, also moved with Meng Ze's fleet. Meng Ze has tested that disturbances generated by space jumps can interfere with the force field, but the interference range is not large, because the space is quite stable within the planetary force field. So even if Meng Ze jumps the battleship directly into the Zerg troops, the damage caused will not be too great. Moreover, due to the gravitational interference of the planet, the accuracy of space jumping to the planet is extremely poor, and the distance difference is thousands of kilometers. There is only a large depth of things such as the planetary force field shield. Even if the accuracy is not enough, it can play a role. Meng Ze had been staring at the target planet for more than an hour. The zoomed-in holographic projection of the planet is less than a meter in front of Meng Ze, as if it is within reach. The interstellar arms of the Zerg, spread out in the outer space of the planet, almost covered the small half of the planet from Meng Ze's line of sight. After all, with the huge size of the interstellar class, it is not suitable for moving within the planet. The disadvantage, of course, is that it is too large and has limited mobility. But large size is also beneficial. If Meng Ze attacks the planet from the starry sky, almost all the attacks will fall on these interstellar classes, perfectly forming a protection for the ground. After weakening the firepower, it is simply painless for these interstellar Zergs. Large, immobile, large, immobile. Meng Ze's mouth repeats this passage. Suddenly, his eyes lit up. The whole fleet fold too. With Meng Ze's order, the battleship group began to turn around. The orbital altitude did not change, but the course changed. Meng Ze's warship group, which had been circling the planet along the same course, suddenly changed direction, and the interstellar worm population on the planet was caught off guard. In a hurry, they also followed, but because of the small space, the formation was chaotic. At once, it was angled by Meng Ze's battleship group. Good, it works. Meng Ze was shocked. Immediately the frigate, 20 million kilometers from the planet, began to accelerate rapidly. At about 1 million kilometers, the speed reached the space jump baseline. Coordinates: target planet 232.568, x48, space jump. Meng Ze quickly followed the coordinates reported by Ji Brain and ordered the frigate to make a space jump. Boom. The frigate failed to jump, crashed directly into the planetary force field shield, and suddenly exploded. A faint spatial ripple spreads. The planetary force field shield fluctuated for a short time. Although the angle at which the corvette finally appeared was a little different from what was expected. But it's good not to miss the angle of fire of the fleet. All battleships, targets, Zerg minaret buildings, fire. The fleet, which had already been prepared, shook in unison, and the main and auxiliary guns opened fire together. The difference in speed between different types of artillery fire made this attack form a thick pillar of light. Even after 2 cuts, there is still a total of up to 600 million firepower tilted to the Zerg's planetary force field amplification building, minaret building. The minaret building was instantly evaporated in half. The rest crumbles. Pour down. As if hearing Meng Ze's heart's call, the minaret building completely collapsed after holding on for more than 10 seconds. After a shake of the planetary force field, Meng Ze tested it using artillery fire. 90%, it's done. Meng Ze was overjoyed. Unexpectedly, he actually found a good way to deal with the Zerg turtle shrinking tactics, although he sacrificed a frigate, but for the entire battle, I don't know how many battleships were saved. The sacrifice of the frigate was worth it. Solve the first minaret building, and the second will be easier. Meng Ze's warship group suddenly turned again, causing the Zerg lineup to be chaotic again. Boom. The second minaret building fell. The Zerg Starfleet had to rush out to confront Meng Ze. Because there was no time to line up the troops, the Zerg formation was disheveled and the firepower was scattered, posing little threat to Meng Ze's fleet. In order to reduce the casualties of the landing troops, Meng Ze directly began to wash the ground with Starfleet. The power of the battleship's main gun is extremely terrifying for ground buildings and insect swarms that have lost the protection of the planetary force field. Except for a small number of large, super-large buildings such as the Zerg Mother Nest, Thunder Beast Lair, Evolution Cavity, and the Great Dragon Tower, Interstellar Zerg Evolution Field, which can briefly resist the attack of battleships. Other buildings only need a few frigates to gather fire and turn into flying ash under one blow. Occasionally, when naval artillery fire is empty, the ground of the planet will be lifted like a swamp, and layers of ripples will be created. When the battleship's fire attacked the Zerg planet troops, it was even more under one blow, with a radius of tens of kilometers, and nothing was left except the bottomless pit in the center. In places where the Earth's crust is thin, it will be directly penetrated, and soon magma will gush out. Where the starship has swept, it is a mess. The surface of the planet will leave spots of fiery red or dark red in the east and west, which are traces of magma. The Zerg ultra-long-range anti-aircraft fire that rushed into space from time to time on the ground became its last struggle. Fortunately, this scene didn't happen in Blue Star, otherwise what else would Blue Star have left? Although he has seen this situation many times, Meng Ze is still thankful. With the successful airborne landing of the landing force, the war entered the end. While watching the Login troops clear out the remnants of the Zerg, Meng Ze pondered in his mind. This newly discovered tactic is actually not only useful for the Zerg, but also useful for the battle between players. Whether it is the interstellar class of the Zerg or the Starfleet of the player, it is the same size. Because only a large body can be equipped with a more advanced and powerful energy core, and only by providing more energy can we set up more and stronger means of protection and equip stronger attack weapons. Therefore, whether it is the interstellar class of the Zerg or the player fleet, if it exists on a large scale in the planet, there is a problem of inconvenience. You must find someone to try it when you have time, Meng Ze said heartily. As for who to find, it must be a big bastard in Xiqing district. This guy jumped so much, and although there seemed to be no news lately, Meng Ze didn't forget him so easily. But the time is on Meng Ze's side. He is not in a hurry. When he wants to find someone to be angry, or when the interest comes, he will find the bun boss to come to the coordinates of the big bastard in Xiqing district to get him. If you go to Meng Ze, you are ready to beat him to death in a wave, so that the big bastard in Xiqing district will go to the rebirth area to repent. Meng Ze felt that his tactics were good, and of course the good things should be shared with the big guys, so he sent a newsletter to the bun bosses. Brother, the shield technique you gave is too useful. The dog-headed bun was full of joy, and as soon as he opened his mouth, he mentioned the shield technology given by Meng Ze, and it seemed that he really liked it. In fact, it is also true. Since getting the shield technology provided by Meng Ze, the dog-headed bun has quickly completed all the shield upgrades of the warships and the shield additions of the troops on the planet, and the defense power of the entire legion has suddenly more than doubled. Doing tasks now, I don't know how many times more comfortable than before. Not only was the mission time shortened to 80 or 90 hours, but the battle damage was also greatly reduced. So far, the dog-headed bun has played 3 rounds of tasks in a row. The best time, there was actually no loss, which made the dog-head bun who has been losing money for many years so excited that tears fell on the spot. It's good if the big guy likes it. Like it? The dog-headed bun was in a very happy mood, patting his chest and saying, "Brother, what are you looking for me for? To put it bluntly, as long as I can do it, I will definitely help you do it." "Thank you, big guy. I just experimented with a tactic. I feel very good. I want to show the big guy. Can it be used?" Meng Ze said. "Oh, hurry up and show me." The dog-headed bun looked surprised and very curious. He knows that his old brother has always used tactics to surprise, thinking wildly and without restraint. But like this, more formally, tell him that there is a good tactic or the first time. Meng Ze asked G-Brain to send the video of the packed task, Wang Nua, directly to the dog-head bun, and the dog-head bun did not hang up the communication, and it looked like this. There was no movement in front, just skipped, and soon came to the key place. When he saw Meng Ze suddenly turn by mobilizing the fleet and disrupt the Zerg lineup, the dog-headed bun was still relatively calm. Many people, including himself, have done this. But the next moment, suddenly let the frigate make a space jump to disrupt the planetary force field shield, and then use the main cannon to second the operation of the Zerg's minaret building, which stunned the dog-headed bun. It's a stroke of God. The dog-headed bun can be sure that no one has used this tactic, and he himself has not even thought about it. Looking at Meng Ze, the dog-headed bun is like looking at a monster. "Dude, I really want to see how crazy your head is." 35. After a long time, the dog-headed bun said in amazement. "Then the big guy is going to try?" "Okay, I'll try it right away and wait for my news." The dog-headed bun nodded and then hung up the communication. It took more than 70 hours before Meng Ze waited for the communication from the dog-headed bun. By this time, he had already played 3 rounds. As the number of warships increased and new tactics developed, Meng Ze became faster at doing missions. On the screen, the dog-headed bun looked regretful. "Brother, your tactic must be a good tactic, but unfortunately the threshold is too high. Brother Bun can't use it." "How come?" Meng Ze didn't understand. He had used it several times in a row, and although sometimes the frigates would be jammed and the space jump would be deviated, but at most 3, it would do the trick. "Brother, it should be a matter of energy level. My frigate blew itself up. It couldn't shake the star force field shield at all, and then I switched to a destroyer to try, and it didn't work. Until I used the battleship, the planet force field shield was disturbed, but it was only reduced by 3%. 39. I think about it, it should be a matter of the difference between the battleships. Brother, you use a mysterious class battleship, and Brother Bun, I use a legendary class battleship. The dog's head bun's words made Meng Ze incredulous. Big guy, isn't it? Isn't the difference in the level of battleships a little stronger in firepower and a little more resistant to beating? The dog-headed bun smiled bitterly and said, Brother, you didn't say that it weighs 690 points. The focus is on the issue of bearing capacity. Bearing capacity? Meng Ze was puzzled. Yes, what kind of firepower and shield you just said. The basis is the bearing capacity. What the specific bearing capacity is, I don't know, but I think this so-called bearing capacity is at least related to the core energy and power of the battleship. And of course, it is also related to the space power engine. 35. If you think about it, what disturbs the planetary force field? Is it not the space turbulence caused by the failure of the space jump? The space engine of the battleship is not strong. The energy level is not enough. How can it shake the planetary force field? After all, the dog-headed bun has been mixed in the 4th level for so many years, and his understanding of the game is much deeper than Meng Ze. Although his guess is not entirely correct, it is inseparable. Then, big guy, have you tried to interfere with multiple battleships jumping in space at the same time? Meng Ze asked. I tried, but the results were terrible. Speaking of this, the dog-head bun is very speechless. What's going on? Meng Ze asked curiously. My 2 battleships simultaneously made space jumps on the same coordinates, and the result was 30,000 kilometers apart. In this case, Meng Ze didn't know what to say, and no one expected it to be like this. The dog-headed bun looked regretful. I must have known that the carrying capacity of battleships is so important, and I had to use mysterious-class warships when I smashed pots and sold iron. Looking at the regretful look of the bun boss, Meng Ze was helpless. In the interstellar world, once a choice is made, no one can change, even if they start over. However, the bun boss cannot be rescued, but there is still a chance to overtake at -90 degrees and dream corners. Meng Ze sent a message to each of them, telling them that when building a spaceship yard on the 3rd level, as long as there was a little hope, they must choose the mysterious architectural drawings. After sending the message, looking at the frustrated dog-headed buns, Meng Ze can also understand his mood. Obviously, there is a huge cake in front of his eyes, but he can't see it. After thinking about it, Meng Ze said, Big guy, let's do team tasks together. Team tasks? Yes, if you think about it, isn't the difference between team missions and single-player missions that the enemy is stronger, but our battleship combined is definitely much stronger than the forces of the mission Zerg. And if it doesn't hide in the planetary defense circle, we can kill it casually. If it shrinks, then it is up to me to interfere with its force field shield. Frigates do not work, I use destroyers. Destroyers do not use battleships, just use my tactics, so that the fight will be fast and the losses will be much smaller. Listening to Meng Ze's advice, the dog's head bun's eyes lit up, and the idea was completely feasible. Team mission dog-head buns are done. AFDF, that is, the planet is bigger and the Zerg troops are a little more. But no matter how big the planet is, the interference of the force field is estimated to pay more attention to the energy level, otherwise, his battleship will not only play a little role. As long as it looks at the energy level, Meng Ze's method is absolutely feasible. I think I can give it a try, the dog-headed bun affirmed. Then, big guy, you find another person. I don't know a few level 4 players, and I can't find someone suitable for the task. 35, Meng Ze wrote. Well, I'll find someone who has the best relationship with me and can keep a secret. Although Meng Ze did not mention it, the dog-headed bun felt that Meng Ze's tactics were very valuable and could not be leaked at will. In fact, when Meng Ze proposed this method, a name instantly appeared in the dog's head bun's heart. If Meng Ze doesn't ask him to find someone, he can't say. In case Meng Ze has his own candidate, he takes the liberty of proposing it, but makes it difficult to do it. But now Meng Ze asked him to find someone, and he dialed the communication immediately. Pawn, what's the matter with me? The real name of the dog-headed bun is Liang Qi, nicknamed Chess Piece, and the person who speaks is his good brother since childhood. His real name is Li Shi, nicknamed Cricket, and the name of the game is Dog-Ed Dumpling. Cricket, of course it's a great thing to find you. Speaking, the dog-headed bun explained the matter in detail. How's it going? Do you want to do it? This also needs to be said, whether it is true or blown. Can I not do it if you open your mouth? Dog-head dumpling road. Okay, but although we are good brothers, there is one thing I will say first. To be honest, my brother must have proposed this method to help me. I hope that he will take the big head when doing the task. Let's get a little cheap, but we can't be too at ease. Dog-head bun road. Han, you don't know what kind of person I am for so many years. You have the final say on this matter. The dog-head dumpling said directly. Haha. Good. The dog-headed bun laughed heartily. It was precisely because he knew what kind of person his brother was that the dog-headed bun first thought of him. However, even if you know that the other party will agree to this kind of thing, it is naturally more appropriate to say it in advance. Meng Ze received a communication from the dog-headed bun, and as soon as it was connected, he was pulled directly to a team channel. Meng Ze, this is a dog's head dumpling, my good brother. Dog-head bun introduced. Brother dumplings are good. Meng Ze nodded. Hello Meng Ze, I've been hearing about Buns that he has a very powerful little brother, and now I finally see him. The dog-headed dumpling said with a smile. Haha, the biggest skill of the bun boss is to be able to blow. I must have been blown out of the flowers by him. Seeing that the two of them brushed themselves, the dog-head bun smiled in his heart, and the start was good. When Meng Ze and dog-head dumpling got acquainted with each other, dog-head bun talked about the team task. Meng Ze, dumplings, since we're doing team tasks together, some things have to be negotiated first, right? The dog-headed bun said. Big guy, please say. Buns, you said. The first one, the command of the team's mission, I propose to let Meng Ze come, and me and the dumplings act according to your orders. Dog-head bun said. Big guy, it's still up to you to command. Meng Ze said quickly. Who commands who is the core? This is the default rule of the interstellar world. Considering that the dog-head dumplings and bun bosses are more familiar, Meng Ze prefers the dog-head buns to command. As for himself, it doesn't matter if he commands or not. If you come, me and the dumplings will listen to you unconditionally. The dog-head bun was very resolute and deliberately emphasized it, and the dog-head dumpling immediately agreed. In interstellar wars, the deployment of troops and fleets is like a precision instrument, and if it is poorly coordinated, there may be great losses in a short time. The deliberate emphasis of the dog-headed bun is this intention, dispelling Meng Ze's doubts. Okay then. Seeing that both said so, Meng Ze agreed. Second, regarding the distribution of task rewards, you account for 60% and me and dumplings are 2% each. The dog-headed bun continued. How can that work? Meng Ze strongly objected. Big guy, you make it difficult for me to do this. Originally, everyone worked together, but in the end it became me to take advantage. I propose to divide it evenly. Meng Ze, you're the core of the whole team. Not only did you come up with the new tactic, but without you, this tactic could not be implemented. So you must take the big head, otherwise this task will not be done. The dog-headed bun did not back down. Big guy, if you do this, that task really can't be done. Meng Ze is also very persistent. The bun boss is different from Meng Jun, and Meng Ze can't take advantage of this. Seeing that Meng Ze had no intention of backing down, and the stalemate continued, the task could not be completed, and the dog-head bun secretly sent a message to the dog-head dumpling. When the dog-headed dumpling saw it, they immediately stood up and said, everyone else is not eating more and occupying more, you two are good, and who is less to share is more energetic. I see it this way, Meng Ze, you just made the cut, you need points, you get more points, me and the buns share more resources, you see this will work, 55. Big guy you. As soon as Meng Ze heard it, he knew who had come up with the idea. The dog-headed bun knows a little about his situation, and the 10,000 mines upgraded are naturally more lacking in points than the resources. That's it, big guy, I take advantage of you. You take 60% of the points, we account for 80% of the resources. Agree if you agree, and disperse if you don't agree. The dog-headed bun interrupted Meng Ze. Well, Big guy, you win. Meng Ze said helplessly. Haha, that's it. Let's prepare the troops. Get ready to say something. The dog-headed bun laughed. On Meng Ze's side, the fleet is ready-made. Just wait. It didn't take long for more than 10 minutes to be prepared for dog-head buns and dog-head dumplings one after another. Everyone reports the fleet, Meng Ze said directly. From this moment on, he took the role of commander-in-chief. Report commander, dog-headed bun fleet, class legend, counting 200,000 Starfire-class frigates, 30,000 Starfire-class destroyers, 5,000 Starfire-class battleships, 2,000 Starfire-class cruisers, 300 Planet-class motherships, 500 Prism-class battlefield monitoring ships, excluding cruisers. The main gun firepower is 197 billion. 35 dog-head bun reported loudly. Report commander, dog-headed dumpling fleet, class legendary, counting 120,000 Starfire-class frigates, 20,000 Starfire-class destroyers, 3,000 Starfire-class battleships, 1,000 Starfire-class cruisers, 300 planetary-class motherships, 200 Prism-class battlefield monitoring ships, excluding cruisers. The main gun firepower is 123 billion. The dog-head dumplings followed up. Commander Meng Ze, the fleet level is mysterious, counting 7,000 Starfire-class frigates, 500 Starfire-class destroyers, 200 Starfire-class battleships, 60 Starfire-class cruisers, 20 Planet-class motherships, 150 Prism-class battlefield monitoring ships, excluding cruisers. The main gun firepower is 23 billion. Meng Ze finally reported on the fleet. A total of 346 billion main gun firepower, calculated according to about 1:2 of the main and auxiliary gun firepower. The full force of the fire collection exceeds 1 trillion firepower. If it weren't for the peculiarities of the planetary force field, Meng Ze even doubted that it would have pierced the planet with one blow. However, it is precisely because of the existence of the planetary force field that the firepower of the bun boss and the dog-headed dumpling cannot be fully exerted, which is also the reason why the loss is so big every time. The fleet was ready to finish, and Meng Ze began to order the next step. Teleport ready, countdown. Even if it is 3 people, the big fleet, the transmission of the 4th level is still much faster than when it is at the 3rd level. 30 seconds later, the countdown ended, and the fleet shrouded in the dimensional field disappeared instantly. 0. Ask for flowers. The holographic projection screen shifted, and Meng Ze looked at the scene that appeared and breathed a sigh of relief. Except that the planet is larger, it seems that it is no different from a single-player mission. Has Brother Dumpling watched the video of my previous mission? Meng Ze asked. I haven't had time to see it yet, so I'm hurrying up now. 33. Dog-head Dumpling Road. Well, now the fleet is sailing to the Zerg planet. There is more than an hour. You just need to look at the key time point. After that, Meng Ze told the dog-head dumpling task video several key time points. Dog-head dumplings are also old 4th level players, and some things are a little clear. It didn't take more than an hour, about 40 minutes, before the dog-head dumpling replied that it had understood. Because the target planet of this mission is relatively large, Meng Ze not only left 10 frigates, but also 10 destroyers and 10 battleships. Point 0. Soon, the fleet reached a position more than 1,000,000 kilometers from the Zerg planet, just within the firepower of the battleship. Faced with such a large fleet, the Zerg shrank as expected. The fleet began to detour along the tracks. Although the fleet goes in a large circle, and the Zerg interstellar forces in the planet take small circles, in fact, the speed of the fleet can easily exceed 10, dozens, or even more than the Zerg troops in the inner circle of the planet. In the starry sky, 500 kilometers per second is extremely slow. But in the planet's atmosphere, 5 kilometers per second is estimated to be on fire. Maintain orbital altitude. Turn the fleet left 60 degrees. Because there was a tactical plan for a long time, the dog-head bun and the dog-head dumpling were mentally prepared, Meng Ze ordered, and the two immediately controlled the fleet to follow the sudden change of direction. Fire preparation. All the main and secondary guns of the battleship began to be charged. In the rear, the frigates reserved by Meng Ze began to accelerate, ready for a space jump. The space transition engine starts charging. The space transition engine is fully charged. Enter the transition coordinates. Coordinates entered. Because this is a team task, Meng Ze constantly reports the progress of his side, which is to remind the other two to prepare in advance to avoid mistakes. Space jump countdown. 10, 9, 8, 3, 2, 1, start. I saw a spatial ripple around the selected frigate, which disappeared in an instant. Boom. Near a predetermined area of the Zerg planet, a frigate suddenly jumped out of dimensional space and directly crashed into the planetary force field, bursting out a huge fireball. A faint spatial ripple spreads. Meng Ze then ordered a frigate to open fire to test the situation. Weakening 6%, you can test a wave of attacks. As Meng Ze broke the results, both the dog-head bun and the dog-head dumpling looked excited. Because the larger the planet, the stronger the force field, and it was previously worried that Meng Ze's battleship would not interfere enough with the star force field, and now a frigate can reach 6% of the interference force, and the battleship can definitely reach 10%. This wave is stable. However, the larger the planet, the larger the Zerg spire building, the planet force field amplifier, naturally the larger and the higher its own strength. Meng Ze 690 is not sure to destroy it with a single blow, but as long as the planetary force field can be weakened to a certain extent, and the attack is far greater than the resilience of the minaret building, there is hope. The entire fleet, planet ground coordinates 325.564, fire. Meng Ze calculates where the fleet is moving and, when it reaches the expected position, gives the order to fire instantly. More than 1 million various attack beams finally converged into a huge pillar of light with a diameter of more than 10 kilometers. The pillar of light first bombarded the planet's force field shield, and the force field shield opened layer by layer, forming a super-large storm in the planet's atmosphere, rapidly spreading to the entire planet. After breaking through the force field shield, the pillar of light fell on the protective force field of the spire building itself. A hemispherical light mask visible to the naked eye was instantly flattened, deformed, and then cracked, forming a huge shock wave that spread instantly, and everything around, along with some buildings, was uprooted, blown away, and torn into pieces. The remaining naval artillery fire, less than 4,000, fell on the minaret building itself, and this huge and incomparable structure was instantly melted, leaving a large hole with a diameter of more than 10 kilometers. This power! Even the three people who were accustomed to seeing the bombardment of the ship artillery were so shocked by the scene that they were speechless. For a long time, Meng Ze muttered, "This planet hasn't been broken, has it?" As soon as this remark came out, it was like breaking a certain atmosphere. The dog-headed bun answered, "Impossible. The hole is estimated to be several kilometers deep. If the formation is thick, perhaps, even the crust has not penetrated." 99. Not early or late, as soon as the dog-headed bun finished speaking, he was instantly slapped in the face. The fiery red magma waves flooded up, because the hole was too large to form an eruption, but the speed of diffusion was not slow, and it soon rose above the ground and spread around. Maybe it's going to be a mountain in the future. Dog-head dumpling road. Okay, keep working. Meng Ze clapped his hands, allowing the other two to refocus. With the success of the first time, the later attack is easier. After that, he entered the rhythm that Meng Ze experienced several times. Uproot the second minaret building. Destroy the dying Zerg start groups. Uproot the third minaret building. The fleet washes the ground with firepower. Mobile Force, Interplanetary Air Force, log on to the planet for final cleanup operations. 19 hours, the mission is over. I've never been so relaxed. 35 dog-head dumplings burst into tears with excitement. The strength of the dog-head dumpling is weaker than that of the dog-head dumpling, and it is more difficult to start the point task, and many times he can only rely on playing level 2 tasks to earn points. Although the loss will be smaller, it will not be much less in time, and the income will be reduced by more than half. Haha. Dumplings, how is it? Don't regret it. The dog-headed bun said proudly. It's rare buns that you made a person. Very good. 35 dog-head dumplings left. I wipe, are you praising me or hurting me? Which good thing did I not bring with me? The dog-headed bun felt so wronged. Yes, good things are brought with me, and there are many bad things at once, but who let you do bad things more, ha ha ha. I saw Meng Ze watching with a smile. The dog-headed bun hurriedly said, Brother, don't believe him. Brother Bun, I have always acted honorably, right? 35. Yes, yes. Meng Ze did not tear down the platform. Several people laughed for a while, and Meng Ze began the task settlement. Dear Commander, you have successfully completed the task of clearing the Zerg planet, and the follow-up will be followed up by the mission issuer. This mission, you will receive 3 billion crystal ores and 1.5 million points reward. And the mission reward will be distributed by the team leader 0. 3 people participate, and the benefit is exactly 3 times that of a single-player mission. But the task time is faster than Meng Ze's personal task, not to mention the dog-head bun and the dog-head dumpling. Everyone was beaming. Meng Ze thought about it. The points are still according to the previous agreement. He personally accounted for 60%, 900,000 points, dog-head buns and dog-head dumplings each 300,000 points. But he didn't ask for any resources and gave 1.5 billion to the dog-head buns and dog-head dumplings. Brother, what are you doing here? As soon as the dog-headed bun looked at the distribution, he knew that Meng Ze had given up his resource income. Big guy, I won't be polite with you for points. You know the resources. I have more and less has no effect, and this time you and Brother Dumpling actually contributed more than me, so I don't want crystal mines. Meng Ze explains. Doghead dumplings look at doghead buns, which he can't talk about. After all, he and Meng Ze don't know much. The dog-headed bun thought about it and agreed to come down. Well, then I won't say more. In fact, this matter, don't talk about me and dumplings to work hard or something. Without you this thing can't be done at all. Seeing that the dog's head bun agreed to come down, the dog-head dumpling asked curiously, why doesn't Meng Ze need resources? Why can't I understand? The dog-headed bun glanced at his brother obliquely. 3.5. Meng Ze is promoted to the chaotic battlefield with 10,000 mines, the strongest in the 320 new area. How many mines do you have? The dog-headed dumpling suddenly felt that the dog-headed bun's eyes were so piercing, and the sword pierced back and forth in his heart. But then he reacted and said speechlessly, no matter how strong it is, Meng Ze's, what do you mean by those contemptuous eyes? 35. Meng Ze is my brother. I despise you instead of him. Ha ha. Lying in a big trough. Buns, are you good at being a person? Meng Ze can see that the two have a really good relationship. However, the dog-headed buns also took care of Meng Ze's emotions and stopped after saying a few words. Seeing this, Meng Ze asked, so let's start a second time. 35. Good. Dog-head buns and dog-head dumplings speak in unison. For 2 consecutive days, Meng Ze has been playing team points tasks with dog-head buns and dumplings in addition to the necessary time to go back to Blue Star's bedtime. In this way, he was also complained by the bun boss, saying that Meng Ze wasted time. In 2 days, dog-head bun and dog-head dumpling earned more than 20 billion crystal ores and more than 5 million points. Meng Ze, on the other hand, has more than 20 million points. In one go, all the points were exchanged for planet growth, and Meng Ze's planet expanded rapidly, from the original 5,000 kilometers in diameter to more than 7,000 kilometers. Meng Ze's progress didn't stop there, because the mission was largely undamaged, and Meng Ze's fleet grew larger. In the past 2 days, Meng Ze's number of warships has increased by nearly 50%, and now it has 10,000 Starfire-class frigates, 1,000 Starfire-class destroyers, 300 Starfire-class battleships, 100 Starfire-class cruisers, 30 Planet-class motherships, and 300 Prism-class battlefield monitoring ships. The combat strength of the entire fleet has increased by more than 60%. Both Dog-Head Buns and Dog-Head Dumplings were shocked by the speed at which Meng Ze produced warships, the number of space shipyards, and the abundance of resources 05. At the same time, he is more immersed in team tasks. The team tasks of these 2 days have gained so much that the mentality of Dog-Head Buns and Dog-Head Dumplings has been somewhat inflated. The dog-headed dumplings already felt that his 5-level path was completely paved, and the dog-headed dumplings began to look down on the little benefits of the resource task. Big guy, starting tomorrow, I will delay for a while, and I will call you to do the task again when I have time. Another round of tasks was completed, Meng Ze said suddenly. Going out again? The dog-headed bun was a little speechless. Since I met Meng Ze, my little brother has disappeared from 3 to 5, and I don't know what he is busy with. Yes, there are some things to be busy, Meng Ze said. Well, how long will it take? Meng Ze is not able to say the specific time because the time difference between the planets is too large. He does not know the time of the Imperial Federation, and he does not understand the cosmic clock at all. 5, 6, 7, or 8 days, it depends. Meng Ze gave a vague answer. Brother, you still have a good mentality, haha. After a while, the dog-headed bun suddenly laughed self-deprecatingly. Big guy, you are? Meng Ze looked at the dog-headed bun in confusion. Brother, although you go, you can be busy for as long as you want. To be honest, the money is charming. These 2 days to follow the brother to do tasks, the gain is too great. I feel that I have a little imbalance in mentality. 39. The buns are right, we need time to digest the harvest of these 2 days, and we also need to calm down. The dog-headed dumplings also realized and followed. If Meng Ze hadn't suddenly mentioned interrupting the mission for 5 or 6 days in a row, the two might not have realized that they were already addicted to the team task. At the moment when Meng Ze said that he had something to leave, the dog-headed bun even had the idea of holding Meng Ze and not letting him go, and always accompanied him to do the task. However, the dog-headed bun immediately reacted, and his mentality was a little wrong. The dog-head dumplings and the dog-head buns are full of tacit understanding, and the words of the dog-head buns also made him wake up. Meng Ze quickly understood what the two meant. He would not think that the two were not determined, but admired the bun boss for being able to understand so quickly. Brother, do the task in the future. Those 2 layers of resource harvest, you take it back. The dog-headed bun looked at Meng Ze and said seriously. Good. This time Meng Ze simply agreed. Let's stop here today. I almost made my brother see the joke. The dog-headed bun is excited. Big guy, level 6 players have almost more than 10 billion gains every day. Meng Ze concluded. The dog-headed bun nodded. He understood what his little brother meant, that is, don't take crystal or too seriously. He felt that the great gain, in the 6th level player, is just daily. At the end of the team communication, the dog-head bun and the dog-head dumpling were connected to the video in private. If it weren't for Meng Ze today, I feel like if we continue, and we might all go crazy. The dog-headed dumpling looked embarrassed. Yes, in the past, I worked hard every day to make plans, worked hard to fight resources, and the result was an income of 200 million or 300 million, but now, there is no need to do anything. As long as you follow the command of others to do things, you can easily do more than 10 billion a day. How can the mentality not be affected? The dog-headed bun sighed. Haha, your little brother's mentality is really good enough. In the face of such a big gain, it is not affected at all. What to do every day, it is really admirable. Hearing his brother praise Meng Ze, the dog-headed bun smiled and agreed. This is indeed the case. Since I knew him, the style of doing things has been consistent and terrifyingly firm. At first I didn't understand, but now it seems that I am superficial. 9. If Meng Ze hears the dog's head buns, he may feel ashamed. With Akka present, it is not okay if you are not firm. Meng Ze this side. The bun boss stopped doing team tasks and he simply gave up continuing to do tasks, counted his resources, and rearranged the production plan for the coming days. Meng Ze relaxed. AKA, come out and chat. AKA said that he didn't want to pay attention to him, he was enthusiastic when he needed it, and he abandoned it when he didn't want it, and AKA was not so casual. Acre, you said I would like to bring something with me when I go on a tour tomorrow? I've never traveled with a girlfriend before, Meng Ze said in his mind. You didn't have a girlfriend before. 697. AKA did not hesitate to expose Meng Ze's old bottom. Can you have a good chat? Acre. No, aren't you just thinking about how to create opportunities to harm little girls when you travel? Meng Ze's thoughts were clear to AKA. I can't talk this day. I've been single for more than 20 years. Is it wrong to think about it? Besides, my girlfriend, can you call it a scourge? Meng Ze said frantically. AKA ignored him. Unknown space-time node. Aka, who was busy studying the core fragments of the StarCraft simulation world, suddenly paused. The StarCraft simulation world is worthy of being the product of miracles, and the more you study, the more AKA discovers the wonders of it. This kind of semi-artificial and half-day world is no worse than the world built by the original civilization. And after so much research, AKA found that the core of the world is actually building its own closed information loop. If fully built, this is a complete and independent subworld. Just like the original civilization, protecting all the information in the world can completely prevent the prying eyes of foreign information, let alone erase its existence. Unfortunately, for unknown reasons, the core of the interstellar world was fragmented, and the whole progress was very slow. We have to find an opportunity to get the other core fragments back. Aka, Exa, and Dao.
Thank you for watching Mystic Realms Recap. Please like, share, and subscribe. Have a great day.